Bomber crew, is it Worthabuy? Let's read the glorious words of Bomber Command. Chocks away! Bomber Crew is a strategic simulation game where picking the right crew and keeping your bomber in tip-top shape is the difference between completing your mission or losing it all. Yes guys, it's a brutal game this. You are in charge of a bomber. You can do up this bomber, you can paint the bomber, put decals on the bomber, you can upgrade the bomber, you can upgrade the engines, the guns, the ammo, you can put extra turrets on it, you can upgrade the interior of it, you can put more fire extinguishers in it, you can put more first aid kits in it, you can do all sorts. It has different posts as well. You've got your navigator, you've got your pilot, you've got your gunners, you've got a radio operator, all the guns active, and all of your crew can be run around at different posts. All of them can jump on different stations, but they are specifically trained in one area, your crew. So it's pointless putting your navigator in the pilot seat. Yes, he'll probably be able to pilot it, but you're probably going to crash. And it's the same as trying to put your navigator in a gun chair. He's going to be shit because your gunners are trained gunners. And that's the thing with this game. You have got to preserve and train up your crew. So let's have a look at your crew. Your crew, like I say, are specialised people for the job, but they can also at later levels be trained in a secondary skill. So they level up. They get XP for successful missions. Now, as well as XP and levelling up, you get money and intel for completing missions. Intel kind of unlocks future purchases, and the money buys the present purchases that have already been unlocked. And that can be a whole load of different gear for your little crewmates. And you need to buy this gear. There's survival gear, for example. So if you're shot down over the water, they can survive in the water. There's survival gear if you've been shot down over land as well. You can have different outfits to wear that have better armor value, that are easier to move in. So you have like a faster moving guy, because every guy has his little stats as armor, speed, thermal and oxygen that affect the performance of the little guys. And the higher your plane goes, the less oxygen, but it also gets cooler up there. So you see how well they work with thermal. The higher the thermal number, the better they'll operate when it gets really cold. And at high altitude you might be safer because you're avoiding the flak and even some fighters and stuff, but you've got the elements to contend with up there. And as the game starts, you are just not equipped. So you're kind of a low level bomber to start with, but you can go to medium after a few missions and then higher later on. And this is the game, guys. You have got to make sure your bomber and your crew are well equipped for your mission. If they're not, then it will be a disaster. I know all about disasters in this game, guys, because I streamed this for hours yesterday. I lost my best gunner. He got sucked out of the back of the Lancaster bomber on the way home. We completed the mission. We were just trying to get home. No, we hadn't. We'd failed the mission, and we were a long way from home. And as you can see here, we just lost the back end of the plane, and it was a disaster. We don't need this. Get into that one. Move! Oh, move! 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 What the fuck? Oh! Oh! So how does the game play then? Well, once you've selected your crew, you've bought them the gear, you've selected your mission, because you get a choice of different missions. Some are higher risk than others, obviously. You then take off. You take off by selecting the pilot and telling him to take off. And as you zoom in with the mouse wheel, you can see inside the plane and how it works. When you zoom out, you can just pan around to see what's going on. Now you have to watch the radar at the bottom right. The radar will blip when there's enemy contacts. And when you see an enemy contact on the radar, you need to immediately find that with your eye by zooming around. Once you find it, you press the space bar, which enters tag mode, which is essential that you tag them. If you don't tag the planes, your gunners will not see them. So you have to tag the planes. Once the planes are tagged, your gunners will all open up on them. Now your gunners will run out of ammo, and you have to watch for this happening and tell them to go down and get extra ammo, which is, there's a huge ammo stash in the actual plane. You tell them to go to there by clicking on the gunner, click on the ammo. You can also get other people to bring ammo to the gunner in a similar way as well. if something goes down on the plane, such as, I shouldn't use them words, going down on a plane, if something breaks on the plane, your engineer can fix it. Anybody can fix it, but your engineer will fix it faster. So you've got to watch for stuff going down, because if the hydraulics go, you can't fire any of the guns, and if your landing gear goes, you can't actually land the damn thing, and there's lots of things can break down on this, so you have to be on the ball with it. Your engineer might even have to crawl out onto the wing to fix an engine. If there's an engine fire, as long as you've leveled up your pilot, you can do these dives and it'll put out the engine fire. You also have to watch for people being shot as well, obviously, as the bullets rip through the fuselage of the plane. And if someone's dying or needs first aid, you can tell them if they're still alive to crawl to the first aid, or you can get someone else to pick the first aid and come and administer first aid to them. But all the time, you've got to remember you're on a bombing mission, so you've got to keep an eye out for your bomber, for your bombing target. When you see the bombing target, you've got to highlight that with the tag mode and tag it. To get to your bombing target, your navigator is constantly sending you waypoints, navigational waypoints that are like brown, and you've got to tag them as well. So you're tagging a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to think about. Then as you approach your bombing target, you have to switch your front gunner into the bombardier position, and then you'll see the bombing reticle open up. You have to open up the bomb bay doors, which cause drag, which uses up extra fuel and makes the plane harder to steer and maneuver. You then select the ordnance that you're going to drop, and then you wait till you're over the target, then you release, press the release button, bomb it, shut the bomb bay doors, don't forget to put your bombardier back on the front gun, but all the time you're being attacked by more Messerschmitts, so you should be tagging them at the same time, but you're not because you're bombing, so your gunners aren't actually shooting at anything, so you've got to quickly do that. All the time you're still heading out in the wrong direction because you've done your bombing mission. You've bombed the target, you should be heading for home, but you haven't tagged the navigation marker because you're too busy sorting out the Messerschmitts. So then you realise you've got to do that, then you find your navigation marker, turn the plane around, start heading back home. By now, it looks like a Swiss fucking cheese, and you're getting hammered, you've maybe lost a crew member, there's a few injured, your engine's on fire, there's more Messerschmitts coming in, you try to climb up, you then think, shit, I've lost an engine, my fuel's leaking, quickly pump fuel out of one engine into another to save it, or we're going to be ditching over the Atlantic or the North Sea. And it's all this is happening, and you have got to manage everything. And it is so much fun. It's so stressful, but it is so much damn fun when you're doing it. And when you get back, you get that huge sense of relief when you land that plane back on the runway, and then you go and get tea and medals, and you get your crew promoted. And the ones that don't make it back, there's a nice memorial stone for them, and it has all the names and their ranks, and you can press F to pay respects. But guys, overall, this is a great game. It's a really great game for $14.99. You can get this on Green Man Gaming as well, cheaper. And you can click the link in the description, and if you do that, you will be helping my channel because I'll get a very small commission. And this is worth a buy, no doubt about it. It is a terrific little game. It's got all the right ingredients for some really good fun. But a word of warning, guys, don't get too attached to your crew members, because it is war, it is brutal, and you're gonna lose them. It's a damn shame, but it's a great game.